Recording is on.
And we are live. Welcome everybody to another episode of You Know What? Let me just say podcast. I am your host, Ray. With me as always, we have D Wolf
Yo, yo.
and we have Crystal.
Hola.
How y'all doing today?
Good.
Pretty good,
There's
as
some
always.
people that's gonna be running late, but I'm pretty sure they're gonna be here. So you might get more people. I don't know, but they say on with the show. Um, before I start, I do want to ask y'all. You ever heard the story about the 70-year-old Indian woman that got stumped by an elephant, and then the elephant spun the block?
Yep, I did. I heard about it.
Wait, it did what?
Yeah. So I guess it was like a 70-year-old Indian woman, and I guess elephant trampled on her. It's like she saw who she was, and he trampled on her. I guess uh from what I said, from what I was told, the Indian woman was like helping some herders, and they took one of the elephant's kids or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they say elephant never forgets, so I guess she
Mm-hmm.
remembered it. So he saw her and trampled on her. So the next day, 150 miles away from where the incident happened, they was having a funeral for her. They had all that. Next thing you know, a herd of elephants came in and bust through the village
Damn.
and stomped her out again. Stomped her dead body.
Damn. I heard of it, but damn, yo. I
Mm-mm.
didn't get that much detail before. Shit.
So
A
the back of my
herd?
head, I was like, "What kind of, what kind of shit is that?
Yo,
That you make an
something's
elephant
happening.
go 150 miles just to go make
You
sure
did,
you dead?"
you did say the baby though. You did say the baby. So,
Yeah.
but damn, 150 miles on foot.
And I heard she was. I heard she wasn't alone. She was. It was like a herd of elephants too. So you brought the.
It knew there was a funeral. It was like,
Oh,
yo,
you brought the crew with you. And then it's just like,
trampling everybody there. Everybody she knows. Yo, it was gangster.
Elephants
it
are
was
you
like,
because I remember it was a I forgot the guy's name, but it was a guy that used to take care of the elephants, and when he passed away, the elephants paid him a visit. Like everybody that he took, not everybody, and make him sound like human, but every elephant that he took care of came and visit, and nobody let these elephants know they live in the jungle somewhere. They live far from where his house is, and they traveled 3 days to get to him.
That's amazing.
That is.
just how animals are just like amazing.
They know what's up, yo.
Okay, so let's get on with the show. So the first thing I want to talk about is the whole. I saw this on someone's Instagram, and I wanted to look it up, and it was talked about. The NEA and excuse me, I'm reading this off the Washington Times. The National Education Association, yeah, the National Education with birthing parents. So I guess there was like uh I think what they I don't want to say like a bill. I don't something like a bill, something like that. They was trying to get these gender neutral terms like birthing parent and non-birthing parent to include the LGBTQ inclusion. So it was called the NB 163, New Business Item 63. So as far as I'm concerned, a lot of people turned it down. I wanted to get your opinions on them trying to get rid of the term mother and father. So it's like they're trying to get rid of both terms and replace it with birthing parent or non-birthing parent.
Yeah, I think I saw a little of that footage of it when the dude was asking her questions. This is related to that, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
It's like some sort of hearing of some sort. Yeah. I don't know. It's all ridiculous, man. This. I don't even know what to say anymore because I spoke on this so many times. But it's insane. Like they're taking away. Like you can't say mother and father. That's offensive now. And what's there to include? It doesn't make sense. Like biologically, it doesn't make sense. Like what's there to include? And so I
I
already
don't know.
said, yo, I already said this progressivism is not the same as progress, yo. They don't know how to stop. So yeah.
See, go ahead, Crystal.
No, you can go. I'm still trying to gather my thoughts so curse words are not
Mhm.
in my comments. So give me a minute.
So I don't want to put this on the LGBTQ. I want to more or less put this on the allies because I feel like this is one of those ally things that and I've always said sometimes your allies shouldn't speak for your whole group. Like I said that about BLM, where other people was trying to speak outside of BLM instead of the actual members. And I've always said the actual members should be talking instead of the allies because they probably don't know your agenda, and they probably always try to throw their own personal agenda and shit like this. I don't. It's like I don't know who is really asking, but at the same time, I don't know who's really asking for this because even like gay parents, like if you have two dads, people usually just say I have two dad. The kids usually say I have two dads or two moms or this person and their partner. I've never heard like birthing parent or anything like that, especially since I know most homosexual couples, especially the two males, if they really want a kid, they'll adopt a kid. So I feel like this is one of those ally things where it's just like anything you say, they'll immediately jump on it like they're the ones that are offended. And sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it's not that. And you have to tell them, bro, it's not that deep. And even like the people that they try to defend is like it's not that deep. I understand that you're trying to like be an ally, but unless this is where I tell people, unless I tell you to do this, you don't need to do this for me. I can speak for it myself. So
Mm-hmm.
that's
They'll be the
mostly my opinion
loudest.
on it.
Yeah, they're always the loudest too. The allies. They're always louder than
Yeah,
them. Like then when you try to say something, you look like the bad guy. Like as the
and
person they're
usually
trying to speak for. They're like,
usually when you tell them that's not what you want, they be like,
mm-hmm.
"Oh, that's what you want." And it's just like, no, that's not what I want. And like I said, a couple of them it's just like your heart is in the right place, but you don't listen.
Mm-hmm.
So I that goes not just for the LGBTQ allies. It's like allies for like black people. I feel like they're especially where it's just like you can tell when someone is just like going too far, or you're trying to do something to go too far. It's like, bro, it's not that serious. I'm not that offended. You don't have to go full out war with this
Yeah.
if no one else is really
Don't
trying
speak
to.
for me.
Yeah, don't speak for me at all. Go ahead, Crystal.
So, from what I'm reading a little bit, it goes deeper, a little bit deeper. So, maybe I'm misreading the article incorrectly, but I'm gonna let you guys lead me. So it's the Biden administration that's replacing mothers with birthing people in maternal health guidance. So by doing that, they're saying that the 2022 fiscal year budget replaced the word mothers with birthing people in a section about public health funding, prompting ridicule, of course, from a lot of people. So the Biden administration budget includes a public health section, which addresses efforts to reduce maternal mortality rates and end race-based disparities in maternal mortality. So replacing the word mother with birthing people that drew conservatives to think that tank leaders and right-wing media members are following the Biden's budget. I'm guessing that From what I'm reading so far, it's kind of like the United States have the highest maternal mortality rates above among being a developed nation, with an unacceptable high mortality rate of Black American, Indian, and Native, and other women of color. So, to help end this high rate of maternal mortality and race based disparities in the outcome, if they replace it with birthing people, um, I'm guessing they can cover up a lot of shit. Does that make sense? They don't have to be too specific.
Okay, yeah.
I've never heard of it that way, but um, I still I still don't see people being for it. But
Yeah, it
that's
says goes on to toot the implementation of implicit bias training for healthcare providers, as well as the creation of state-run pregnancy medical home programs and additional early childhood development funding. So it's either to protect or to hide certain information, but it's just on how society wants to use it. So, for instance, if you decide to get money for something and like Black women are sometimes, well, most of the time, based on statistics, being judged based on the color of their skin if they're going to get the help that they need, health wise, then if you say birthing parent, maybe that kind of subsides. But that I'm trying to make sense of it. It's hard to, because you still got to check off what color you are. So for
yeah,
certain
that's what I'm saying.
medical, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of it, but
Because
it's
they're trying to make sense of it.
yeah. But that's my personal belief on this. If you take away the political aspect of it, no, I would not prefer anyone to call me a birthing parent. I would prefer anyone that wants to be called a birthing parent to go ahead, but I don't think it should be like written in stone, um, that you have to call somebody a birthing parent. Like other things, when people get offended if you call them that certain name, like I'm offended being called a birthing parent because I'm much more than just a birthing parent. Does that make sense? Like it's an insult to me.
it
And
does sound demeaning. It does.
yeah, like I don't call men sperm donors, so don't call me a birthing parent. And then to not be identified by the gender that I chose to be identified by calling me a birthing parent, then you're basically putting me in other. I stand out. The way that I identify myself is, by identifying as a female. So if I know that females can do certain things and you're telling me someone else can do the same thing I can, and we're just going to disregard the biological aspect of how humans are in general, then I am not going to take that with a, you know, spoon of salt. So I'm not cool with that name. But if people who are transgender or whatever, if they're cool with that, fine, go ahead. But I don't even think it's their agenda. Like everybody's individuals. Everybody's going to have their own opinion about this birthing parent situation. And I think that the LGBT community is being targeted. And when is the voting coming up again? Because this is a stunt that they would pull. They don't have BLM anymore, so they have to drag some kind of community through the fuckery, and this shit needs to stop. If it's We're all individuals, but just to know that one community was lumped up into this, that's not cool. And it's really the Biden administration. Now, how did it get to the Biden administration? Through the funding, through the budgeting, and all this stuff. I don't know if it was snuck in there, but I'm going to do more research. But I think that someone's being the target here, and it's not cool.
It happened on the 3rd through the 6th of July. I don't know when the next one is coming. So, like I said, they already turned it down. So I don't know if they're going to bring it back up soon. So they already turned it down. Jaja Noel and Dion done into the chat. How y'all doing?
Snacking.
I can hear you.
Good. Having my cup of coffee.
What type of coffee you drinking?
Oh, just the instant Mexican Nestle brand with, hazelnut creamer.
Oh, that's cool.
Hmm.
I like a shot of liquor with my coffee, but that's just me.
Oh, Irish?
Yeah, his last name is Irish, so I'm not surprised.
A little Irish
Sometimes,
coffee.
yeah, yeah, little bit of rum tossed in there. Maybe a shot of Hennessy.
Oh, how you doing?
I'm new to the coffee drinking game, so I'm not even gonna act like I know a lot, but uh, it still kind of tastes like chalk to me. But I guess I gotta try
Oh,
different flavors.
chalk.
As
Yeah, I
a
know.
parent of two young kids, one of which is about to be 2 in September, I need that caffeine. I need that boost. I ain't got the same stamina no more. I'll admit it. I don't give a fuck.
Them kids wearing you out, Dion.
Fuck them kids.
Oh. Ooh.
Words of every parent.
I love them, but fuck them.
Papa don't love us no more.
Any last words before we move on to our next topic?
Mm-mm.
I have a
D-Wolf.
mother and father. That's like,
D-Wolf, you kind of like showed me something that was kind of interesting too. They was trying to teach masturbation to kids or something like that. Right, D-Wolf?
oh, sorry. Yeah, I was asking, was it Instagram or Twitter?
It was Instagram.
Okay. Yeah, and I think I told you it was like they were pushing that from between, yeah, it was kindergarten to third grade.
Why kindergarten through third grade? I can understand. Look, I can understand like middle school when you just like hitting puberty, but why adolescence? Like was it third K to third, kindergarten to third grade or something like that?
Yeah.
Why that? Why would you think they trying to go at people so young?
I Oh
Because
man.
there's weirdos in the school system. That's why.
Yeah. That's who we look, I mean, look at, man, they just trying to, all right, I'll just go back to the whole laptop thing. People are focused on the drugs and the business. They ain't talking about what else is on it. So that's to tell you, they don't care about the kids. They just want to over sexualize them, and it's I don't know. It's insane. It's insane. Like, who's thinking about that? That's not your job, yo. That is not your job. Stop. Even parents don't do that. This is crazy.
Yeah, because I seen
Where
all
was
the parents.
this?
Trying to find the damn. Where did I send it to you? Hold on. Was it Instagram?
Hold on. If I can find it, but it was a video that D Wolf sent to me. It was about there's a they was trying to teach sex ed to kids.
A school?
Yeah, it was I think it was a proposal or something like that. Oh, it probably was Twitter. I'm pretty sure.
Oh no, you're right. Got it. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, it was Instagram. You're right.
It was Instagram. Okay.
Yeah.
Focusing our attention on our next. What were we talking about?
What's that material like?
Hi, y'all.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah. I just played it. Oh my god, can you play it on this?
I'm on the laptop, but
Oh, okay.
I can maybe if I could probably find it on YouTube, but not. Try to explain it though, D. If what you if you
Give me a
can.
second. Yeah, give me a second.
Come on.
Alright, I'll try playing it over this. Tell me if you could hear it properly.
Focusing our attention
education on our young people and guaranteeing them all
can hear
a
it.
quality education, which includes comprehensive, queer inclusive, pleasure-based sexual health curriculum.
What are we discussing with these children?
We'll be talking in an age-appropriate and safe space with our young people about masturbation. We'll be talking about all the different ways that they can protect themselves from if they choose and when they choose to have a sexual relationship with a partner, whether or not that is anal sex or penetrative sex or oral sex.
Who decides what's appropriate? Parents decide what's appropriate. Against, for. Parents overwhelmingly
Can
do
y'all
not
send
agree that
this?
this legislation is appropriate.
So focusing our attention on our young people.
Yeah, and that was it.
I got you, Xavier. As soon as I find it, I got you. Y'all heard it though, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay, so anybody got thoughts on that?
I have a lot of thoughts, but I'm gonna wait till everybody else goes.
I wanted to know, like, what's the age group? Who
That's
is
the
this
first
for?
question I asked too.
Yeah, he asked me that right away. Yeah, it was kindergarten to third grade specifically.
Anals.
There was worse, yeah. I mean, this is nothing compared.
Man,
This is
me,
nothing compared to the other shit they were teaching. I forgot what state that was, but it was like novels and shit. They were putting in there as part of their little kid stories and stuff like that. Talking, I don't even want to say that. It's just bad.
I sent it in the group chat, Xavier.
I saw.
all right, so may I real quick?
Go ahead, Dion.
See, on one hand, sex ed is something that is, in my opinion, desperately needed education wise, because there's a lot of places that don't partake in that at all, and there's a lot of people just clueless about certain things pertaining to that. But also, small children. You talk about kids who aren't even nowhere near their teens. They don't need to hear this shit. Not yet.
The most I heard at that age was it was just telling you that how it really works, other than the birds and the bees, like the whole stork shit. Like they're taking us out of that fantasy and saying this is how it real. This is what your parents really did. Just the basics at that age, and I pretty much understood. Okay, and from there, you go deeper as you go to the higher grade.
For me, I see what a lot of people's vices are, but I feel like at what point is it appropriate for kids to know about something? Because how long is it going to be taboo? Because teaching drug education was taboo at one point, and people thought it was inappropriate to teach that. So it's like, when will sex education be taught? Because at this time and age, a lot of kids are exposed to sexual stuff, and they know about it. And it's like, why is it that at 7 years old, when we were 7, we knew about it because of the music that we listened to or the movies that we probably watched. And it's not like we were sitting here all innocent and like clueless.
No, it's the point is you want the parents to be in charge of things like this, because that opens the door for the wrong type of teacher to do the wrong type of thing. They are impressionable, and if you go into detail like this, they're gonna think it's normal, and you can potentially lead a kid to the wrong
But
person.
what are you saying they're going to think is normal? What are you
Because
referencing?
things that are normally taboo, like anal and shit like that, not at that age. You're not, no. If we
But that's the
expose, that's
thing.
what I'm
Like,
saying. This is where
I feel like
parents need to be
I feel like
involved.
that's the main thing that everyone is all focused on, is that whole anal part.
No,
Where
masturbation and all that,
I feel
yo.
like that. Well, I think the anal part is what everyone kind of was like on. So I'm looking, and like even on the comments and everything like that, because if she didn't say anything about anal, then I think it wouldn't. It still would be obviously an issue, but I feel like as soon as she said anal, like people started thinking like, oh, they're gonna be talking about this and that, and exposing my kids to gay this and gay that, and it's like, but that stuff happens, and
Not in school, not pushed on you.
Time
That's the issue here.
out. Let me say something. So not every agenda or not everybody automatically assumes or thinks about like, their kid being exposed to like homosexual like things. Anal in general, regardless if it's between a male and female, male or I think any child or anything like that. But my thing is that when I was growing up, going through the normal school system between kindergarten to 12th grade, I can't even remember learning about sex ed in middle school or elementary school like that. Like it wasn't even like I can only remember sex ed being in like high school areas and stuff like that. But back then, kids wasn't getting pregnant early either that often. Like it was very taboo when you saw like a teenager getting pregnant. It was like, but it depends on what school you went to also, because if you're in like let's in a predominantly like hood or black neighborhood, it was normal to see a lot of young kids getting pregnant. But then if you went to an like mostly all white school, they would be shunned upon if you seen a teen getting pregnant. So the era we're living in now versus the era that was back then, sex ed being taught, to me, sex ed being taught to kindergartens to third grade is just weird. But then again, there's kids that's having sex, like what was it, the 10-year-old? Even though that one was even more weird because it was like she was being abused by a doctor. But it's like these things are happening now early. Like there is normal kids who are getting pregnant early because things they see, and now that sex is being, produced wildly. But back in the days, girls wearing shorts, that was rare to see on TV. If you look at some of the old movies, most people always had on like long clothes, or like you seen a little bit of legs. But now you can see butt cracks out. So it's like we're trying to, every year they, push the age limit, the age gap. Okay, kids are getting, they're growing up faster. Back then, kids wasn't wearing makeup like that. Now the kids are wearing makeup. A 16-year-old, you wouldn't even realize she's 16. You might think she's 23, 25. But back in the days, they wasn't wearing makeup. Like they still look young. Now it's just, we're in this era where it's like you feel like you have to catch them early, but the earlier we keep catching them, the earlier they start having sex.
And you have an overwhelming amount of parents that are saying no to this, and the point of this is to listen to the parents. The parents put these kids in school to learn certain things, and they don't want this to be learned. If it's overwhelming, that's telling you something.
Well,
And
first of
based on
all,
what
it's
Material
known for
Life said,
parents to
hold
not
on, hold
teach
on,
their
hold
kids.
on, hold on. And based on what Material Life said, they see what's going on. They see this is basically where the world is going, and they feel like they need to make sure that their kids, this next generation, doesn't go in this path. Because come on, I mean, look at the debauchery that's going on, blatant. I mean, we talk about certain artists that do certain things, and people are and kids are being exposed to this, and they feel like they got to have that, at least that control. If I'm going to put you up in this, I'm not going to have you, I don't want that door open for you. If you need to learn about this, I will teach you. That's how I grew, and that's how I grew up. My parents taught me. I learned what I had to learn in school. There was life experience, the rumors you hear about from your friends and and their experiments and shit like that. You're exposed to this shit. But my parents, made sure I knew exactly what was going down, what was the right way, what was the wrong way, this and the other. Why are they doing this? Oh, they do that for this reason. That's their job, and they did that job with me. Every parent should do this, because look, it didn't make me. I'm not square about it. I'm not a far right ringer. I'm like, there's a time and place, but I ain't against what you want to do, who you want to do it with, as long as you're an adult, this and the other. I don't care. And there are things I do that will be considered taboo. You understand? But I'm adult and I know this. But if you have this at a young age, that potential of a predator using the school system as a reason to do this, because they're already doing it. How many priests are doing this? But you're supposed to trust the kids with them, and in different instances. That was a whole bathroom argument and shit like that. So they just want to keep their kid. It's just an instinct to do that, to keep their kids safe from what the world has become. And we can be mad about it all we want. We could disagree with the parents all we want, but the fact of the matter is, the parents should have the last say, and it's an overwhelming amount. And that was the point of what the lady was saying in the video. Like, so we're just gonna do this without their say so. I mean, these kids are their responsibility when it comes to the shit, and they dictate what we're supposed to teach them, or at least say okay to this or not okay to that. That's our job here. We're the educators, and they're paying us, so we have to do what they say. This shouldn't even be an argument, but things just like to be, pushed and things of that nature. So I don't know, because this isn't hard.
Well, in my opinion, 9 times out of 10, a lot of parents do not teach their kids sex education, and that's kind of a known fact. A
Wait,
lot of
you said opinion, then you
people,
said it was a fact.
huh?
And even if that's the case, there are parents who are against it, so they have a right.
Okay, well, you said what you had to say. Let me say what I'm going to say.
Go for it.
I am saying, when are kids supposed to learn to do it? Because a lot of times, parents don't teach their kids a lot of stuff. They want to, but they don't feel comfortable. And it's a known thing that, especially in the Black community, that like a lot of parents don't sit down and just say, this is what happens, or this is this and that, especially when it comes to the single parent home. Okay, so it's like a lot of these kids get their information from school, and they are taught their stuff from school. So I just don't, I can understand the whole, okay, they're being exposed at a young age, but it's like, this is, knowing something is not exposed, because like, what's the difference of teaching them about drugs? Does that mean they're going to go out and do the drug? Because
It's
we're
not
known
being
about, we know about, say no to this, this is what happens when you do this and that. And for two, I don't even think that they even said the exact curriculum on what is going to be taught. They, like, I didn't hear her say that in the video. So
Can I take
okay.
when everybody is done?
I'm sorry. It's very simple. I don't understand. Like, yo, it's not
No,
their responsibility.
okay,
It's
well,
the parents say
that's
it
your
does not
opinion.
matter. And also, like,
If you don't think that,
you
then
said,
you don't think that.
no, I don't. It's not that I
But
don't think that. A lot of
I
people
think
think
some
that.
kids
It's
should
funny
learn
because I
that
just
in
said
school.
overwhelming, which means I'm not the only one that thinks
Because
that. I'm not the only
I
one.
find I find a lot of times that you like to talk over other people and say what you have to say, and what you think is what you think, but you
I
kind of
wasn't
make
done
it seem
speaking, but
like,
okay. And I
and I
did
wasn't done
say,
talking either, because you
all
talk
right,
a lot, you talk over people a lot, and you go on these long ass rants,
I
and then
do, but
as
I
soon as
haven't had a
people,
complaint yet,
but
and
as
I'm
soon
sorry for.
as
Wait. Let's
people,
calm down here. Let's
no,
calm down here
you
because
calm
you're
down,
getting a
because
little.
you see how
Hold on. Let's
you
slow down.
talking over
Let's
me.
slow down. Hold on.
You see how you
Hold on,
talking over me.
sir.
I don't have to hold on
Sir.
to nothing.
All right, you're getting a little. I'm just trying to calm
I'm
shit
not doing
down because
nothing.
this is
It's
supposed to
just
be
that
having a regular.
I'm tired of every
Oh,
time we have these discussions, you talk for so long. And it's like every time somebody does not agree with what you have to say, a lot of times you kind of go on these tangents about who's
what?
right and who's wrong. In my
No, I don't
opinion,
actually. When did I
well,
do
I
that? Can
feel
you
like
please point
that.
it out? Oh, you're. Oh, okay, that's fine.
I feel like that,
Actually,
and
and
Markiana
that's
also
me
feels like that
because if
too.
that's how you
So,
feel,
and if
if
you,
that's
and
how you
exactly,
feel,
that's exactly how I feel.
I get it.
Exactly.
I
That's
might
let's
get an
assume
exactly
that
insight
it's
here,
right.
yo.
It's
I'm just
exactly
like,
how I feel.
D Wolf, you feel like it's a parent's option, and you feel like it's at the end of the day, it's if you send your child to school and the school board has added or implemented that this lesson will be taught, you as a parent, you have the option of pulling your kid from the school. And I understand where you're coming from. Also, like some parents are not teaching these kids sex ed at home. Some of these parents, they don't feel comfortable talking about it regardless of the trigger moment or whatever the situation is. There's no one forcing anyone. You can always homeschool your child if you don't feel like a curriculum needs to be taught. You
that's
can always choose to put your child through private schooling if you don't feel like a curriculum be taught. Do I want my a third grader learning about, birds and the bees and STDs, HIV, AIDS, and all that other stuff? I just feel like they're young. But at the end of the day, if my child's in that school and that was that was part of the school curriculum, I have the option as a parent to say I would choose to not have my child go to school there anymore, or I can choose to pay for schooling that won't teach it, or I can choose, like, we all have the free will to do whatever we want. So just how you saying, like, there's some, like, you introducing your child to, or the school introducing your child doesn't mean that, oh, your child will go have sex, or them getting introduced to like drugs doesn't mean they're going to go do drugs. You're saying it's a parent's choice. Yeah, both at the end of the day, everyone has their opinion. And if when he was talking, D Wolf, you said, okay, when you were talking, you told him to not butt in and let you finish. And when he was talking, you did interrupt him.
Yeah,
So
that's my bad. Go ahead.
this
Sorry.
this topic is just getting a little bit feisty. And then Crystal was trying to say her little topic, but it was like y'all just got to arguing. But y'all both have opinions and they both aren't valid.
Okay. Crystal, may I before you go ahead?
Sure.
Okay. And the other thing is, I did not disagree with you. Actually, I actually agree with you that there are a lot of parents that do not know what to do, that don't do their job, and that's a topic of my discussions as well. I totally agree with that. People aren't doing what they're supposed to do, and the problem is leaving it to another party to do so. Because again, like I want to be able to have a say in what my child learns. And like Material Life says, I totally agree. They either can just, say what they got to say in front of a school board and be like, I'm not down with this. Or you do have a right as a parent to take your child out, find another school if you can, because a lot of these people don't even have the money to be able to do that. So they have no choice but to, make a complaint and make sure things change, especially when there's overwhelming amount. That's all I'm trying to say here. I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying with your opinion on it, but at the same time, you started off with opinion, then you said this is a fact, and I'm like, okay, because I talk to a lot of people. I'm not. It's my fans, people around me. We have these discussions, and there are a lot of different faces, a lot of different people of that opinion who's saying people should have the choice in what these children learn. If you're a parent, point blank, it's just that simple. I'm not talking about what I'm not talking the whole what it is thing that can be put away. It's what they want is what should happen. So what I was trying to say is this shouldn't even be an argument, because if the parents come up and be like, "Nah, we don't want this," that's it. It doesn't matter what it is. And that was it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Crystal.
All right. So when it comes to this topic, um, if you ever taken like a development class with children and the way that their brains develop, then you would find out that at age 10, that's when children start to have more control over their emotions and get to kind of like own in on who they are. So when you introduce, to me, a complicated topic, I don't know how they're going to put it together. So, in my eyes, when a child is just beginning to learn her or his ABCs, the last thing they're thinking about is how to play with their private parts in different ways, in different positions. So that's another topic, but they do not have the mental capacity to understand what it is to play down there. They know that no one's supposed to be down there. Um, in any inappropriate way, teaching a child on how to defend themselves and what the proper terms is when it comes to the vagina and the penis. That's what we should be teaching our kids. And the parents do have the choice to say, okay, teacher, I would like you to teach this person, my child, this or that. I don't have the time. I think that children in the foster care system that happen to go to public schools, they should take classes on that. But when it comes to having fun, not knowing what it's called and stuff, like they're still developing on a mental capacity that it's not really going to be fully developed until age 18. And it's just statistically proven that at age 25 or 24 is when even the brain develops fully in its full capacity. So I just think that children are just a little too young to learn on how to play with down there. At the age that I think that children should be introduced to this stuff is 14, 15, when puberty hits. I feel like everything, now they're not really going to have so much control over their hormones. Hormones is a bitch. So I think that's where people should jump in and say, okay, do it this way, do it that way, play with down there. This is what you use. I think that children of that age are more acceptable and mature to listen to things like that. But I don't really think a kindergarten should know how to play with her pussy. Just keeping it real.
Agreed.
You flick the bean. You flick the bean.
They're gonna
At this
Uh,
point,
say you don't need to
some
tell
of these
the truth.
kindergartens is wilding.
mommy, what
Hmm.
does flick the bean mean? What?
Oh,
I'm gonna just keep it short because y'all mostly said everything. But I'm gonna just say this. I feel like when it comes to situations like this, you should whatever you're teaching, you should teach it to the adults first, to the parents first,
Mm.
and the parent and what you're teaching to what if the parent agrees that what you're teaching is should be educational or something that the kids will understand. I feel like then you should um let them teach it to the kids. But I don't it's this for anything, not just this for anything. I feel like when you're trying to teach them, let the parents in and let them educate them first, because maybe they could probably explain it better. Or what you're trying to say is just, I don't think my kid should be ready for that, or I don't think my kid should be learning that at this age. Maybe if you teach them such and such and such, that'd be fine. But this right here, I feel like it's a bit too much. It's like I'd rather them learn that at an older state where they could better control their hormones or anything like that before you go teaching them something at a young age. Because, like, understand kids, their brains absorb a lot, especially what they're more focused on what they see than what they probably learn. But uh
Impressionable,
that's
man.
why the first question I ask is like, what age they kids teaching this? Is like, and would I want my say 7-year-old child to know what this is? Because I know they're going to ask this question because like you said, it's in the music. Because quick story, I sang "I Want to Sex You Up" by Color Me Bad to my grandmama, and she cursed out my daddy. So so like shit, like we hearing in the media all the times, but I didn't know what the hell I was singing. It still get brought up every time my grandmama want to tell a story, but shit, like I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It wasn't until like I was in middle school to understand what sex is and like
mhm.
laws and most of the things that's going around. So in short, teach it to the parents first, and then if it's cool, then teach it to kids. Anybody else has something to say about?
Um, do I really get mad at what people their opinion is? Do I say if they're right or wrong? Did I hear that right?
I feel like that's a discussion for another time.
Okay. Nah, it just hit me. I'm like, I don't do that.
And and,
I always
and
usually
not
say
even
my
trying to be
own
funny.
what I
That's a
think about
discussion
it.
for another time.
Interesting. All right.
Any last words before we move on to the next topic?
Ray, your stories are amazing. Your childhood stories are fucking amazing.
Indeed.
They remind me every time. Like every time my uncle is like, "What Raymond do next?" Because I'm always, for some reason, I'm always doing something.
Okay.
You're
Uh,
like the Black Dennis the Menace.
okay. I have, wait, the Z and what's your, what, I'm sorry. What's your name?
Xavier, she's talking to you.
Oh, what you say?
I low key have to agree with Xavier. I'm sorry. The reason why I say that is because when I was growing up, you learned sex ed in, high school, or that's what I can remember. But there was a moment there was an elementary school near my high school. And I remember it was so taboo back then because a mom was putting her daughter on birth control, which was crazy back then. That a mom was putting her elementary school daughter on birth control. And then there was also this elementary school girl who had way more boobs than me. Body was built like a high school kid. And she was out here, living that good life. And so at some point we have to be honest with the way society is moving, and educating these kids about STDs, and the potential of what sex may bring, or whatever the case may be. And some kids may be getting abused at home and don't even realize it's an issue, or it's not good, or whatever the case may be. So I low key have to agree with him. Like at one point, like even though it feels really weird, your child, which to you as a parent, you raise your child well, and you want to say, okay, I don't think teaching a third grader, kindergarten. But we don't know exactly. Some of these kids are being abused at home, or some of these kids are experiencing things that we don't know about. And with the way society is moving, and even when you look at videos, there was a 4-year-old that was like twerking and grinding, like, so it's like at this point, like sometimes we have to say, okay, there might be a need for teaching these kids about these things, because there's a possibility something may happen, and so they need to be aware. I'm not saying go out there and go bring to school, elementary school, a fake penis and show them, or show them some porno or stuff like that. But
Right.
if you take
Bring up the
STD
Children's
HD.
and
episode.
show them the bumps and all that definitely terrify them. Or
Yeah.
it's like give them some slight knowledge. So I have to say, like, there is sometimes, like, it may feel weird as a parent because you don't want your kids to be exposed to that early, or you want to be the one to get, like, inform them about that, but you don't know what other kids might need that knowledge or that training or that information. Because each, like, some kids they're struggling at home, and you're like, your kid is like, my kid is perfect fine, he ain't thinking about that. But there's some kids, that's their parents be watching porn, the TV be wide, no filters
Mm-hmm.
at the house.
HBO After Dark.
Exactly. And the kids just be watching stuff and they be feeling some type of way.
Yo, real sex, man. That caught me
So
early. What you mean?
the times have changed drastically compared to like when we were kids. And when we were kids, it wasn't that, like, you had little pop-ups back in the days where you seen a little porno that popped up on your screen when you was trying to look for something or trying to download some free music off of LimeWire. That was the Pornhub Central.
Mhm.
So these days it's we don't like, it sucks because you don't want to expose your kids to things that, because you feel like, well, I wasn't exposed to this at young, but I can't remember me being in elementary. I can remember me in high school and then seeing some kids in elementary, like, I'm like, dang, y'all fast. I don't remember being like that. Like, I was thinking about cootie, like, circle, circle, dot, dot. Now I got my cootie shots. But y'all out there bumping and grinding.
Yeah.
At 4, I don't even remember whining or twerking at 4 years old. Lord, I hope I ain't got no pictures or videos of me doing something like that at 4 years old.
And that was my point earlier. That's what I was saying, that the parents see that. We're now the only ones noticing how fast these kids are, doing the things we were like, that was beyond taboo, that's at the other end of the spectrum, but that's where
So,
we live in.
so material life, would you say that the children that's been sexually abused, that they need a separate class to go in detail of what really took place and, be educated? So if something like that occurs to them, um, they should be well aware.
Yeah, because it's crazy. So for me, I've never, your parents, like my mom, she had my sister take me out to like a club before I joined the military. And my sister gave me a quick rundown of, if you go out to the clubs, you get a drink, make sure you cover it, date rape. She explained to me about, what could happen when you go out partying. And when you get to boot camp, they give you this spill, like, the little whole sexual assault and rape, like, video that they always make you watch yearly. And some kids was breaking down. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, y'all don't know this? Like,
For
I
you, that
was in this, some people were super triggered. I'm like, wait, what? Like, don't everybody know this?
no,
Like,
be honest.
don't you know, like, if you go out to the club, you should cover your drinks, or like,
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know people, like, I was oblivious to other people's lifestyles, I would say. So to me, I didn't meet someone who'd been raped before, or, sexually assaulted before, because we all like almost 18, 19 years old. I didn't, I wasn't out there, living my best life yet. So I was oblivious to, some people are definitely just, was never informed, or they go through things that they wasn't trained about, or not knowing if somebody's like feeling on you, that's not like, good. Some people like that, to them, that's just normal. That's how they was, I don't know.
So, with everybody saying, they're feeling left out with just even words alone, would you now say that if we were to allow children to, get the education on a sexual level that they need, I don't know what level they're looking for, but we're already talking about anal, so I guess way. But would you say now the parents of autistic kids or kids that may be a little bit slow, that don't know what's going on around them, are they to be taught sexual education as well, but not the education part, but how to play with their pussy and dick? Because the teaching needs
I'm
to be,
sorry. I'm not
Ain't
mature enough for this. I'm gonna mute myself. I'm not mature enough for this.
no, because
they
No.
working with their pussy and dicks now?
these special kids now they have a chance to teach this curriculum and they don't know what the fuck is going on. So I'm just trying to figure out, are the parents going to come out in droves talking about their kids feel excluded? I'm
No.
curious because
What Ray
with
said, I definitely like think
this
it's a
shit, I
good thing. Like,
have time to be in the streets and marching for bullshit.
you know,
um,
people gonna march still. But I would agree that they do need to, like, before the school year starts, if they are going to bring that or implement it, they should have all the parents come. But we know not every parent going to come. And then when they teach their kids this, the parent going to be mad. But some of these parents need to be educated themselves.
They don't even know how to pleasure their damn self.
Some of them don't even know how to use a condom. And I'm like, damn.
So I don't know how far we're gonna get with teaching kids that even the parents don't know how to play with their stuff right. So I'm just curious, what is the fucking goal? Like,
I
and the children that's been molested and stuff, get them help as much as they can. But kindergarten, like you, God,
see. I think the reason why I think it's very important is because maybe not kindergarten,
yeah, leave them out. They
but
baby.
first grade. I mean, I feel like you should know the terms
They don't.
because
They be calling it all sorts of names and shit. So yeah.
right, and it's like I need to know, is grandpa masturbating in
Mm-hmm.
front of you? Or did he just expose himself in front of you?
Right. No.
Not saying that they have to know every little term, but it really helps when they can articulate what exactly happened. Because all he touched my no, but it's like, no, he was wiping you because you pooped and peed yourself and he wiped you. And you're like, oh yeah, he cleaned me. He cleaned my no. And now you're like, wait, what? What do you mean he touched your no? And it's like, sometimes people can take that and run with it. When actually she was just saying that, she pooped her pant and he was wiping her down, whatever. I don't know, whatever. But it's all kind of scenarios, and it's like you just don't know what could happen. Also, I don't think it would be right to uh pinpoint the kids who have been sexually assaulted and have them in their own class, just because you know how kids are, and it would be very weird. And they're looking at the other kids like, oh, that's the little girl that was raped
No,
or
they,
molested.
no, they have to do it in secrecy. And I'm not
Right.
gonna tell you,
Yeah.
but to tell you the truth, the reason why I would say to do that with those children, you know why? Because they need all the support they can get.
Of course.
Right.
Most
So
definitely.
any fucking teacher, because teachers fucking talk. That's enough
Hmm.
to get these immature assholes out of the fucking school system, but that's another topic. But yeah, we need to get children, if they're going to be ushered out of the classroom, they have to make it seem like it's a whole different class. They ain't got nothing to do with that, because children need all the support they can get. And when a parent or an adult says, I've been through what you've been through, trust and believe that child ain't trying to hear what they gotta fucking say. Some children can, but when that shit happened to them at such a young age, compassion where, empathy where, they ain't trying to listen to that. They're trying to listen to somebody that's been through the same thing. That's like somebody going through drugs. You don't want to hear about a motherfucker that's never have never been addicted to anything. So, yeah, you're
That's
gonna.
why it's so important where that person who smoked cigarettes and, they ended up getting lung cancer or they had to do something with their throat.
Mm-hmm.
When they do come in, that can scar some kids, and they're like, I am never. Obviously, some kids they'll be like,
There's
oh, well,
something
it won't
about
happen to me.
Yo.
It won't
when I was
happen to
young and
me.
I was so man. Let me tell you,
Yeah. Let me tell you,
sex
I
ed
still haven't
scarred
smoked
me.
marijuana. I still haven't smoked. I
No,
love the
sex
look of
ed
it,
scarred
but
me when I was young. Learning about, them bumps, all that.
okay.
I was like, oh no, I was too
Okay.
terrified. I
I'm
was.
not getting no bumps on my lips. No, I'm not. So, no. But I know I'm a rare case because clearly in the gay community, we're known for being very sexual at a young age. But some of us are like hell to the no. But a lot of us, it doesn't matter. No matter how many stories we're told, we still end up doing stuff with these older men and, so on and so forth. So it's like all you could do is give them the tools and tell them, hey, if this happens to you, this is what you should do. This is who you should tell. And this is what it's called. Now, I do agree with everyone. I think, the whole anal thing is much, but at the same time, maybe she's just explaining like that they're just going to touch on it. And they're going to say, if they rape you or if this happens, that's called anal rape. Who knows? Like, I don't know how they could be doing it, obviously, but I'm just trying to give the benefit of the doubt. Like, maybe they're not sitting there saying like, oh yeah, you get pleasure from, having anal sex, but maybe this is going to explain like that's anal sex and that can also be a part of rape. Because some people really believe that rape is only in the vagina, maybe, and not in the anal part. I mean, you know.
That's why I wish they were talking about the what and not teaching them how, because that's what she was saying, how to do it. That was part of the curriculum.
I have to watch the whole thing over. But yeah. Okay, Ray, I think we're done.
I was about I was about to say, any last words before we move on to our next topic? Hey, Father, you're not into the chat. How's it going, brother?
Ooh.
Father done left the chat.
He said,
What's
"Don't
the
be,
next
don't be
topic?
putting me
There you
on,
go.
don't be
It's
putting me on
probably
blast."
it's probably Jesse. It's probably Jesse.
This topic right here, it got real violent. So I'm ready to go to the next one.
I was about to say, I actually found the mute all button because I was like, if it was getting throughout that whole thing, I was like, where's this mute all button? And I was like, I finally found it.
Full disclosure, I was
I
laughing the
wouldn't,
whole time.
I wouldn't call it violence. I would just say that we need to have drinks when we have discussions like this. This is a perfect time.
You just reminded me.
I
Jeez.
just finished some vodka.
Of course.
It's really we need to be in the same room, just drinking it up and be like, you know what, fuck you, but it's all good. You had some good points, but nah, motherfucker. That's
Yo, we should be, yeah, we should be
Yo,
on camera and
that's how I
cheers.
what
talk.
it is.
That's
We
me
should
all day,
cheers on
yo.
camera before each show, yo. Let's get this started, yo.
Lord Jesus.
That is me all day. Like, man, fuck you. And then go to the bar after.
All right. Speaking of drugs, does anybody care that there are videos of Hunter biting with crack cocaine?
How old is that video?
I, I don't know, but it's old. I can tell you it's not
Yeah,
recent.
then
Oh, it's not recent.
then
That's from the laptop. That's old.
Oh,
If it
was
ain't
it
recent, we don't care.
then
2018.
the crack or
I
If
was
it
don't
it
ain't
care
recent, we don't care.
what
because
exactly like was the video? He was just holding or measuring crack? Is
It's
he a
like a
crackhead,
He's
compilation.
weighing.
It's like a
reformed
compilation.
crackhead, or a used to be crackhead, or used to be a crackhead dealer? Like what exactly is? Because he make a lot of money, so is he still on crack?
What makes it?
It's a compilation of videos, not just that, but one of them was like him recording himself weighing crack on a scale, and then there was other ones were like him with hookers and prostitutes, and he's just filming himself and shit. So and like him going on crack binge or some shit like that, because it's just like it's a bunch of videos that they found on the laptop.
So he
People,
used to be a crackhead, or he is a crackhead, whichever one it is. At one point, he did crack.
And the
yes.
problem is
Wow.
the reason why it's bothering a lot of black people is he's like the godfather of the you know, three strikes law and the drug laws and that we suffered from. And not only that, when every time it came up, every time it was questioned, this man will deny knowing his son was doing this.
Oh, you talking about his dad? Because I was like, I didn't
No,
know
no,
Biden
the
was part
laptop
of
was
the
Hunter.
passing of the law. Because
No. Yeah,
not
yeah,
Biden,
yeah,
I
yeah.
mean
Yeah,
Hunter.
the dad.
I
Yeah, yeah.
thought it was his dad was
So
in.
we're like, so you're not gonna you're gonna not admit the proof that's in everybody's face as the president that your son's doing, and not only that, but the hypocrisy that you're covering for the kid, where you locked up all of us.
I'd do
So
the
yeah,
same
that's
thing,
mainly
honestly.
the thing.
I'd probably do the same thing. Just because it's my child doesn't mean I want my child to go down.
Oh no,
But
Iron Fist, yo. I taught you better. Like you're
so,
gonna have to
what
face
is
the
it? Is
consequence.
it a crime to do crack?